again and welcome to another episode of I Want to Talk About This Album. And today, hey, I'm going to talk about the Beach Boys. I never thought I'd talk about the Beach Boys, yet here I am. I've never talked about the Beach Boys before, so I'll start by talking about get right into it with my Beach Boys history. I just realized today this is the only band that I will probably ever talk about that my history goes back longer than Kiss. As I've stated countless times, Kiss was the first band I ever got into. Alive was the first record I ever got in 1976. But as far as I was into, I can't say I was into, but I was aware of Elvis at the time. My parents, especially my mother, I think, were and was Elvis fans, or my mother was an Elvis fan especially. And Beach Boys, my dad, I guess both of them, but I remember my dad especially loving the Beach Boys and actually had this record, and this is Surfin' Safari. It's their first record, came out in 1962. I admit I had to look that up. I didn't know it was their first record, and I know it came out in 1962, but I remember it very, very well, and I got this record. I'll show it to you here. I got this record recently. I got this about a month ago when I was at El Chopo. I got 5 records that day. This is one of them. They were cheap. This is only 100 pesos, which is as far as El Chopo goes, you're not going to see anything better than 100 pesos. And I saw it, and man, it brought back memories immediately. I remember this. My cat is eating the dog food over here. She's tearing the bag open. I remember this album cover, my dad having it. Now this was owned by a guy called Alfonso Mendoza. I guess that's what you get when you buy used records. Sometimes they have names on them, just like I did Cheap Trick in color recently. And that also had a couple of names written, one on the front, one on the back. I tried to find those people, couldn't find them. I found the 2 names were, I think, Lynn, I can't remember, and something Doucette, Lynn Doucette maybe. I did find women with those names that might have been from around that same age. Sent them messages weeks ago, never heard back. So my dad had this, and I remember him listening to it a lot. This was on in my house a lot, and I think my mother liked it too. And I always liked it too. So really quite a big thing. This is the band I was into, even pre-Kiss. Although I never bought. This is the first time I've ever bought anything by Beach Boys. And this is Beach Boys are kind of, I think for me, and I really know nothing about Beach Boys except for now that I've listened to this 3 times today, except for this album. I know the hits, of course. I know California Girls and Little Deuce Coupe, Fun, Good Vibrations, Wouldn't It Be Nice? None of which are on this album. Help Me Rhonda, that was always, I think, my favorite one when I was a kid. And there are a couple of songs on this one. There are 2 that when I went through the track listing, I know these 2, and I'll get to those because it's so important when I do the track by track. But then as I listened to it today, and I listened to it 3 times. Normally I listen to them twice before I do an episode. There were, I think, 3 other ones I thought, I know the song, but I completely forgotten it. So I really like this song, and I really like the Beach Boys. I can't imagine going on too much of a Beach Boys kick, but I really do enjoy them. And by the way, there's the back of it. It's all in, and this was when they used to put the song titles on the front of albums, like this, on the back as well. And this is all in Spanish. El año pasado cuando el grupo de jóvenes tostados por el sol grabaron, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read that whole text, but it is all in Spanish. This is a Mexican pressing. There's no year on it. I don't know if this actually, I highly doubt that this came out that this actual record, this edition came out in 1962. Might have even come out in the 70s, I don't know. But anyway, there it is. And I think Beach Boys, for me, knowing a little bit more about them now than I did when I was a kid, it seems that they maybe, I always kind of thought of them as a little bit of kind of a novelty act, because I knew these songs, and they were about surfing and the beach in California and everything, and seemed kind of novelty. But as I've known them a little bit over the years, I guess Pet Sounds especially, it seems that there was more to the Beach Boys. I think they should be maybe more revered than they are. They're a real real rock and roll band. I don't really know anything about them. I know they're all Wilsons. There's Dennis and Carl, and the father was Murray, and who does that? Brian, Carl, and Dennis Wilson. The father was Murray. Mike Love, I know he was their cousin, and they were all together, and they were the Beach Boys. And yeah, like I said, I think they maybe, and I don't know what they did after. I think they're, just a minute, let me stop this cat from eating all the dog food. Shame on her. Look at her nice, beautiful blue eyes. She's got eyes of the bluest skies. Betsy, look at the camera. All right. Yeah, Beach Boys are right. And I love The Who. I've talked about The Who recently, and I know they were quite heavily influenced by Beach Boys. Or I don't know about influence, but you know, they kind of had some connections. There were some Beach Boys, not songs that Beach Boys wrote, but songs that Beach Boys did that The Who also did. I think The Who got that inspiration, I imagine, from the Beach Boys, Barbara Ann and Summertime Blues, which is on this record, Surfin' Safari. So that's what I think about Beach Boys in general. And I like this album. I think it's really good. It's real 60s rock and roll. And I did see Beach Boys live. Yes, I saw Beach Boys in, I can't remember the year. It was 94 or 95. Probably 95 or 96. Probably 95. I'm a big baseball fan. Or I was, especially through the 70s and 80s and 90s. 70s when I was a kid. And there was a team, you know, I lived in Toronto, and there was a team, still is, I guess, called the Buffalo Bisons, who now I think are the AAA team of the Toronto Blue Jays, who was my team. And at the time, the Blue Jays AAA farm team was the Syracuse Chiefs, and then Syracuse Sky Chiefs. Now it's the Buffalo Bisons. So I used to go to Buffalo Bisons games. Oh, they were the Pittsburgh Pirates AAA affiliate at that time. And so I used to drive to Buffalo. It was like an hour and a half to drive to Buffalo. So I used to drive there once in a while to go see a Bisons game. And Beach Boys were playing after the game. And I don't remember, but I'm sure I knew that. I chose that game because the Beach Boys were playing. I would have gone to a game at some point around that time, but I'm sure I would have chosen this game because Beach Boys were playing. And I probably have that ticket stub. I think I have a good portion of my baseball tickets that I've had over the years. Should have looked for it. I don't know. But sometime, whenever the Beach Boys played at that time, it was called Pilot Field in Buffalo. Then it was called Dunn Tire Park. Maybe it's now still called Dunn Tire Park. Hard to know. I have nothing much to say, so I'm maybe trying to do this, although these episodes should be this. They should be shorter. All right? So that's it about Surfin' Safari. I'll do the track by track. Of course, I had to write notes. Most of these songs, more than half of them anyway, I'd never heard before. So I do have some notes there, and I will get into them now. And I don't need the record. No, let me have it anyway. Let me take a look. Is there anything I want to say about this? No. All right. So the first song, the opening song, is Surfin' Safari. Let's go surfing now. Everybody's learning how. Come on a safari with me. And something I noticed when I was in the first several songs that I did, and even just listening to the record before I was writing the notes, is how much I love all of the backing vocals. The Beach Boys were so great at this. Not just backing vocals. How can I explain this? I'm sure you know, not just backing vocals like repeating what the lead singer is saying, but kind of layering over. Kind of like, you know, the Beatles did, like, you're gonna lose that girl, you're gonna lose that girl, and then yes, you're gonna lose that girl, and they kind of layered them over top of each other. And on the first several songs on this, I was writing, okay, I'm gonna say how much I love the backing vocals. It turns out that's on every single solitary song except one, and there's a reason why there's no real backing vocals on that. But these are real, like, backing, almost like lead backing vocals, if that makes sense. They really add to the song. Love that on every song on this record, as I said, except one. So yeah, Surfin' Safari, it's a classic Beach Boys song, and it's got the great Beach Boys backing vocals. Let's go surfing now, everybody's not going to safari with me. Early in the morning, we'll be starting now, the honeys will be coming along. And the backing vocals are, ooh, things like that. Love it. Next is County Fair. This is one that I had never heard before. This is, there's a carnival barker all through the song. He's yelling out things. And at some point he says, I guess, you know what, they have these carnivals where you used to, what is it called? The test of strength, where you hit the thing and the thing goes up and it rings the bell. And I guess it's like that. Or throwing, they used to have pitching machines, you know, they would test your speed. And so in this, the guy is, he's yelling, "Are you a man or a weakling?" He's being shamed. I guess the protagonist in the song is being shamed by a carny. And then later, I guess it's the woman at the end of the song. She says, "I don't need you anymore, loser," which is kind of surprising to hear that in a song. And also they say in the song, the most specialist girl I know. Terrible misuse of the English language. But I like that song, County Fair. It's fun. Every song is fun. Next is 10 Little Indians. This is one that when I read the song titles, when I read the track listing on the record, when I saw it, didn't recognize it, and then when I heard it, I thought, oh man, I know this song. So it's 10 Little Indians. I guess now, because everybody is woke, it will be called 10 Little Native Americans, I guess. But it's a very, very, in addition to being a very woke song, it's also very childlike, kind of very fun song. I really, really like 10 Little Indians, and it also has the great, great backing vocals. Next is Chug-a-Lug, which apparently is a song about root beer. This is another one that when I read the song titles, didn't recognize it, and I heard like, oh yeah, I remember this. Like I probably hadn't heard these songs since the 80s, maybe even, let's say early 80s, I don't know. But this reminds me of Barbara Ann, the Chug-a-Mug. What song are we talking? Oh, Chug-a-Lug. Here a mug, there a mug, everybody Chug-a-Lug. Reminds me of Barbara Ann, which The Who covered. And I'm not sure if this Chug-a-Lug, is it a Beach Boys original? There's no writing credits. I think it is. But anyway, yeah, they sing about root beer in Chug-a-Lug. And you know, Barbara Ann has that, "You Got Me Right." Barbara Ann, I'll take my hand. You got me rocking and a rolling, rocking and a reeling, Barbara Ann. Really reminded me of, or Chug-a-Lug reminded me of Barbara Ann. And great backing vocals again. Every song. Next one is Little Miss America. This was yet another one, the third one in a row, that I didn't recognize the song title, but when I heard it, I remembered, yes, I know that song. I love this song. Blue Eyes, I guess it's about Hitler's dream child or dream woman. Blue eyes, blonde hair. Blue eyes, blonde hair. Lips like a movie star. Blue eyes, blonde hair, lips like a movie star. Which also brought to mind, I wrote a note here, when I saw the song title, Little Miss America, I remembered Love Hate had a great, great song called Miss America on, that album was called Wasted in America, which was their second album, the follow-up to Blackout in the Red Room. I love both those albums, Blackout in the Red Room more, but by song title alone, it reminded me of Love Hate. And guess what? It also has great backing vocals. Next is 409, She's Real Fine, My 409. How does that one go? She's real fine, my 409. I saved my pennies and I saved my dime. Giddy up, 409. And I had no idea when I was a kid, and probably even until like recently. I maybe still don't really know what a 409 is. I know what a 409 is. I know it has something to do with cars, or more specifically hot rods. I don't know if it's a model of a hot rod. I don't know if it's the horsepower of the engine or something, but She's Real Fine, My 409. Of course, this is one that I've known for many, many years and was always a favorite. Next is Surfin. This is one more. This is the last one that I didn't know that I knew until I heard it again. It's pretty much got the exact same intro as Surfin' Safari. The title track starts with just a single snare hit, and Surfin' Safari is let's go surfing now, everybody's learning how, come on a safari with me. And surfing is the only life for me, so surf, very same, I think. I love this. This is possibly a favorite, really, and this also has the what is it? Doom dip dip doom dip doom dip dip. So, something like that. Some weird thing. The backing vocals. Love that song. Next is Heads You Win, Tails I Lose. I think Rat took inspiration from this for their great song called Heads I Win, Tails You Lose on Detonator, which I did a month or 6 weeks ago. My favorite song, I think, on Detonator. And interesting line in this is one I had never heard before. Why can't we arbitrarily resolve a fight? And it kind of starts off, about lovers quarrel, maybe a boy and a girl, arguing. And then I think lyrically, when I was listening to it, it seems like it's kind of a passive-aggressive thing. I guess just about a guy who's had enough crap from his woman and he's turning the tables on her, which seems a little bit strange. Beach Boys were very wholesome, and that was the impression I got. And it's got the backing vocals. All the songs have. Next is Summertime Blues. Obviously, I knew this. I don't think I'd ever heard. I don't remember ever hearing the Beach Boys version of it. I know the Who's version of it, and Rush's version of it, and God knows who else did Summertime Blues. One of those songs, I guess, like Louie Louie, and what else is that? These Leaving Here? No, not really that. These songs that so many bands or artists covered. Summertime Blues, it's okay. Good song, I mean, lyrically and just the vibe or the feel of the song, it's a good choice for Beach Boys to do. It almost could be a Beach Boys song. Next is Cuckoo Clock. Cuckoo, cuckoo. It's got that, I like that kind of in the high voice. Cuckoo, cuckoo. And great backing vocals. Not too much to say. Two more. The next track, 11, is called Moondog. This is the only one that doesn't have the backing vocals, and that's because it's an instrumental, although it does have some kind of harmony vocals. I think just like vocalization. It's an instrumental, probably unnecessary, and it's got some real twangy surf guitar, and I guess there's twangy surf guitar throughout the whole album, but I think because it's an instrumental, there's no vocals in here, it maybe stands out more, it's more prominent. And then the last song is called The Shift. Now this is clearly about the shift in baseball, especially in Major League Baseball, when they shift the whole infield, sometimes the outfield. I think they outlawed that last year, the shift. They would put a disproportionate number of infielders on one side, depending on if it was a right-handed batter or a left-handed batter, and if he pulled or hit the other way, Major League Baseball teams would employ the shift. Now outlawed, I think, the shift. So Beach Boys were ahead of their time, sing about the shift in baseball. And it's a good song. It's the last song. It's very typical. It's got the great backing vocals, and it's typical of Beach Boys and this album. Fits in perfectly. So that's it. Something that I loved about this album is only 24 or 25 minutes long or something. That's why I listened to it 3 times today. I always listen to them once when I do these episodes. I listen to once when I exercise and once when I take the notes. This was so short that I listened to it twice when I exercised and another time when I took the notes. But very enjoyable to hear the Beach Boys again. Very nostalgic for me to hear this record that I've known this cover for I don't know, since the 70s. I don't know if it was before Kiss now that I think of it, but let's say around the same time. Yeah, so there it is. Kind of cool for me to hear. And this is the Beach Boys, Surfin' Safari.